Okay, here we go. We'll start into something new. I picked Beatles, Norwegian Wood, because it's a great guitar tune. It's challenging, but I'm sure within your reach. It's got a lot of neat details to it. We ultimately will play an arrangement of this. It'll be good to practice the accompaniment too, just because it's always a good thing. It helps familiarize you with the song. I would recommend you go to YouTube or whatever music service you like. YouTube I like because you can do the slow down thing. Go to Norwegian Wood and play it at about half speed, just the very beginning. And listen to the guitar opening, just the initial guitar opening before the sitar comes in. And listen to that at half speed, maybe 3/4 speed, and just try to have well in mind what's going on there, have a sense of it in your head before you even look at this. I would highly recommend that. So go ahead and do that first. I mean, you want to watch the entire video, that's fine, but before you actually try to play this, I would do that. So I think it'll make a world of difference in your being able to accomplish this. The song is interesting. It's in 12/8. That means there's 12 beats to each measure, and that the 8th note gets a beat. But very often when you have 12/8, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or you can just count 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically you're counting 1, 2, 3, and then on 4 you're saying 2, and then on 7 you're saying 3, and then on 10 you're saying 4. So you can either say, I'll try to do it with both hands, so you can either have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So this one kept going with the 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But most people actually count it 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So that just gives you a little understanding, very brief overview of 12/8 time. So assuming that you watched the whole video or paused it and went and listened to the tune, we'll launch into it. There's a lot of detail. I've tried to detail the strumming pattern and the picking pattern on the tab. So we're capoed on the 2nd fret, puts us in the key of E. And that first chord, that first D, we have open, open, 2. So you want to kind of really striking that. I think John plays guitar in this. Whoever it is that plays the opening plays it pretty aggressively if you listen to it. So you want to get that initial 1, and then we have the down, up, down, up. So my hand is on the D chord. So we have the 1, 1, and I'm doing that 1, 1. Now if you wanted to count this in 12/8, you'd go 1, 2, and 3 and. 1, 2, and 3 and. Or you can just count 1, like that, and that would be your first beat in the song, or the first 3 beats in 12/8. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and. Okay? After that, on the next beat, we're still on the D chord, and we're going to strum those 3 strings, but we're going to do it's a little bit of a tricky hammer on pull up, because you're going to hammer down with the pinky, and then you're going to pull off with the pinky, like that. So that's only 1 strum. So it's important that you use the proper hammer on and pull off technique. So you hammer down. That might take some practice just to get, that fingertip. The pinky tends to be the weakest of the fingers on either hand. So when you hammer down and then you do the pull off, remember you're pulling, you're not just lifting. And then you pull. So you're in essence picking that string with the pinky. So you want to practice that so you have a degree of strength to that sound. So putting that together with the beginning part, starting back at the beginning, we have 1, 2, and 3 in. 1, 2, and 3 in. 1, 2, and 3 in. Okay? 1, 2, and 3 in. So if we were going to count that in 12/8, it would be 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Or just 1, 2. 1, 2. You can think of it either way. It might help you to, I don't know if it would help to think of it in 12/8 or not, to actually count out each beat. That's why I'm counting out each beat, in case you want to think of it that way. So I'll play that one more time, then we'll move on. Now the next beat, we have the open D and the open G. Once again, you want to play that with some strength. All I did there was lift my first finger up off the D chord. And then we have the pinky going down to the 4th fret of the D string, and we're playing that and the open G together. Now it's dissonant. Now when you just listen to it all by itself, isolated, it's more dissonant than it actually is in the song. But listen for that when you're listening to the tune slowed down. Listen for that dissonance, because it's definitely there. Okay? And then after we play that 4th fret with the open G, then we have down, up, down. Okay, so going back to the beginning, I'll play it slow. 1, dissonance there, and once again it's more pronounced because we're playing it and isolating the dissonance. Not that the dissonance goes away completely when you're actually playing the song properly. It actually, remember, dissonance is just that. It's dissonance, not good, not bad necessarily. I personally like dissonance. I think in this song it works really well. It gives the song some character and charm. So don't ever think of dissonance as being a negative. Dissonance is just a device in music. Going back to the beginning, playing it that far. Again. 1. And then we have just 3 separate notes. process of playing those open notes, if you happen to hit other strings accidentally, it's not the end of the world. It'll sound fine. I'm sure that if John Lennon played this song 50 times, it would always come out a little different each time. So don't, overly stress about getting absolutely perfect. Going back to the beginning, that would be the first measure. That would be your first, you can see the measure line after that 204, the measure line. That would be your first 12 beats in 12/8, or if you want to think of it in 4, that would be your first 4 beats. So we have So we have 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10, 11, 12. There's your 12 beats. I'll play that again. Some extra notes. I didn't play it so clean. Might sound better that way for all I know. Either way, it's going to sound like the song. Okay, there it is with a little bit more speed to it. Okay, very, very pretty. Going into the next measure, we're still on that D chord. So we're playing the open D and the A, and then a down up. 1, 2, and 1, 2, and then on the third beat, we're coming down and playing the open A. And then what we're going to do is we're going to reach up with the middle finger down to that C note, 3rd fret. We'll play that C note. And then we have the 0, 3, 0. And then with our first finger, we'll put the first finger on the 2nd fret of the low A string. And then we have 2, 0, 0, 3. Listen to it, assuming you have listened to it, John hits real hard there on the guitar. Okay, so you want to have, as you learn it, you'll start adding, some more of the dynamics to it. Taking it from the beginning of that second measure, the 0, 2. Time. And then we get to the next line. What's going to happen there is we're coming off of this chord. That's the last chord formation in the first line. So then what we're going to do is we're going to do a downstroke, and as we do the downstroke, we're going to hammer on with these 2 fingers and recreate the D chord. So we're going from here. We'll recreate the D chord. So it'll be like that. Okay? And then we have the strums after that, down, up, down. So we have 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. I'll take it back to the second measure, the 0, 2. I'll do that again. it up, we have a D chord, and then we have a little pull off, hammer on dealy. So we have the D chord, looking at the last 3 downstrokes. 1, 2. See on that? See that little? I'm trying to connect the 2 to the open there on the 2 middle chords there on those last 3 downstrokes. So we have the first D chord, and then we have the second D chord. We pull off. So that's 1 strum. 1, 2, and then back to a D chord. So those last 3 beats, those last 3 downstrokes. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So now I'm going to play that last line. I'll do it again. So remember, we do that big hammer on at the beginning of that measure. So there's a lot of tricky, it's a great song to practice because there's some, just little tricky hammer-ons and pull-offs that really give the song its character and make the song what it is. So going back to the beginning. Okay, I'm going to go through and kind of review and point out some things again to watch for. The first chord, got a nice strong, which again, you're aiming for these 3 strings, but you want to kind of, and the way you accomplish that is just by sort of a turning away of the hand. And once again, you're holding that D chord, so if you don't get that entirely clean, it's not going to matter. That, then we strum the D chord and do that little hammer-on pull-off. The 3 separate notes. Next measure. That's a little tricky there, looking at the second measure, playing the first 2 notes, the down-up strum, and then coming down and picking that low A. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Third, middle finger comes up. First finger down. Now we're on this little inverted G chord is actually what it is. And then we get to the next line and we hammer everything down. notice when you listen to it that D chord, the one that we hammer onto in the second line, he really at the beginning, once again, just listen to that very beginning part before the sitar comes in, just those opening two measures. He really lays on that. Okay, so that'll get us started on that. It's a great guitar tune. As like I said, we'll ultimately be doing an arrangement, and we'll also talk about just playing along because it's good practice. It's in 12/8, so it's a little different feel. We haven't done a lot of 12/8, so it's good just to be able to play the rhythm. The chords are actually very easy, so that's actually a plus because that will enable you to think more about the strumming and the timing of the tune, because the chord changes are very simple, but still worthwhile to play along. So as usual, any questions or clarifications needed, let me know. I tried to break it down pretty good there for you, but you know, I never know what it's like on your end trying to translate what I've done, but I really want you to have success with this. So if you're struggling at all, let me know and we'll break it down, okay? Have a good one.